I've seen EFN for a little bit, and I always talk to my wife, and I was like, hey, I kind of want to start boxing again. She goes, don't be stupid. You're freaking 45 years old, 46 years old. She goes, you're dumb. And I just kind of let it go for a little bit, and it just kept coming up. And then I called Rob up, and I said, hey, when you guys is having one of those boxing matches again? And he goes, oh, it's coming up in May. And I'm like, hey, I want to be a part of it. He goes, dude, if you sign up, I'll find you a fighter. So I was super excited. I told my wife, and she was like, I don't want you to do it. And I'm like, she won't even come to the fight. She said, I'm not coming to fight.
What?
Yeah, she's not coming to fight.
We'll convince her.
Yeah. She goes, I'm not coming. Well, the funny thing is, she goes, I hope you get knocked out, because it'll take away this, I told her like years ago, I have something in my basement. You got something in the basement like Rocky Balboa said?
Yeah.
I was like, I got something in my basement. And she goes, because I watched that Rocky Balboa fight, and I'm like, I still got something in me.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Legends Boxing Podcast. Actually, this is going to be our first episode where we're interviewing our 7th annual EFN fighters. And I have a very special guest for you guys. And I wanted to make sure Scott Hillman right here was our very first EFN fighter for this year, because he and I go way, way back. So if you guys listened to our first episode, you heard about the story. You heard about XSI and where we really started from. And Scott and I have known each other since then, like in the beginning of the XSI days. But you started boxing before that, right? You started with Bressler? Rob and I were we were in some warehouse with Damian Bressler. That's what I thought. Right, yeah. And then you would come over to XSI when we moved over.
Robert actually recruited Damian to go over to XSI, and when it just moved over naturally. But I was only there for a few weeks before that happened.
Okay, yeah. That's kind of what I remember too, because I remember you and I kind of were boxing together before I even started coaching and taking over.
That's right.
Right, yeah. So it's been a minute, guys. Like, a long time.
And I hate fighting lefties still.
Thank you for being here, Scott. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's awesome. Well, I do remember some of those big right hands. Man. Yeah. It's not the easiest fighting someone who's 6'5" and has the reach that you do. It's kind of like fighting a Klitschko. But thanks again, man. Thanks for being here. This is great. So let's talk a little bit about EFN first before I'm going to ask you some questions to go back in time. But tell me, who are you fighting for? Like, what company are you representing for EFN?
So I'm representing LME United, blockchain. And it's a blockchain company that they started. They've been around for a little bit. I came in about a year and 3-4 months ago. Really liked the project, said, hey, I want to be a part of this. It was before they're even ready. We couldn't even offer nodes or anything like that. But I just started introducing. I said, hey, I can introduce this to a lot of my friends. Okay. Because I just really like the project. We're just digitizing assets that are in the ground. We're overlaying those, we have mines that are pledging their assets to us. And basically, we have close to $700 billion that are pledged to us right now. And our whole goal is to stop, bad mining and, have them do it, really good mining. And we have an element process that we're doing that, kind of like a Kimberly process we're launching. And we're overlaying NFTs on those mines and digitizing those, in-ground rewards. And it's pretty awesome. And we're having a game overlaying that on top of that. So wow. It's a really good project. I really like it. That's why I jumped in and I said, hey, I want to be a part of this. So
how long ago did you jump into it?
About a year and 3-4 months ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So December of 2021, I think.
Okay. Now, what's your main role in the company?
Just in sales, in charge of sales and doing all that stuff. So I really like it.
Now, I think I might know the answer to this, but what enticed you about wanting to be a part of EFN?
Oh, well, I've seen EFN for a little bit, and I always talk to my wife, and I was like, hey, I kind of want to start boxing again. She goes, don't be stupid. You're freaking 45 years old, 46 years old. She goes, you're dumb. And I just kind of let it go for a little bit, and it just kept coming up. And I saw it again. I was like, and I saw you, and I was like, hey, and it just brought back memories. And then I called Rob up and I said, hey, when you guys is having one of those boxing matches again? And he goes, oh, it's coming up, this is like January. And he's like, coming up in May. And I'm like, hey, I want to be a part of it. He goes, dude, if you sign up, I'll find you a fighter. So I was super excited. I told my wife, and she was like, I don't want you to do it. And I'm like, honey, I think I want to do this. And so I kind of did it. And she was like, she won't even come to the fight. She said, I'm not coming to fight.
What?
Yeah, she's not coming to fight.
We'll convince her.
Yeah. She goes, I'm not coming. Well, the funny thing is, she goes, I hope you get knocked out, because it'll take away this, I told her like years ago, I have something in my basement, you got something in the basement like Rocky Balboa said. I was like, I got something in my basement. And she goes, because that, I watched that Rocky Balboa fight and I'm like, I still got something in me. I have never, you and I wanted to find a fight for me years ago and we never could find a fight, And
I think it was all to your injuries too.
Yeah.
I think you were on the injured reserve.
Well, I'm always injured. I'm always injured. Yeah. So it's just really hard when I was, 40 years old. And back then it was 35 and older was the Masters division. And it's just hard to find a guy that's my size that wants to still fight.
I can't believe you're 46. You 46?
No, 51.
No, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Holy,
51.
He does not look 51, guys.
I'm 51,
he
guys.
He looks 46. He looks 46.
I'm glad you said that, man. I like you a lot more now.
So that's an amazing story. Are you sleeping on the couch right now?
No, she's kind of forgiven me, but she still won't come to the fight. I've been back. I was like, you sure you don't want to come? She goes, I hope that guy knocks you out.
She's going to say that all the way up until the week, sure. And then she'll be there ringside.
You don't know her, but she's like, she does not want to see me. And my kids are like, Dad, I don't want to watch you fight. I'm like, guys, just come watch me. It'll be a show.
I think it's going to be great. Yeah. I mean, I know who you're fighting, but we're going to let you talk about him a little bit, whatever it is that for a second. But I can't get over the fact that okay, that's great. I love that. I just wanted. I want to meet your wife and shake her hand now. This is awesome,
dude. I'm afraid of her. She can literally beat me up. I've been stories of her. I have lots of stories of her. We can get that another time. But man, she's trained.
Okay.
Yeah, she's trained. Yeah, so MMA style. You know what I mean?
She should have entered into.
I would love her to. I've asked her for a lot of times to fight. Like, you can make money. Why don't you go fight?
EFN number 8. That's right. That's right.
I would love for her to get in the ring because she's tough.
So let's get back to, we want to make sure that your company gets definitely all the credit for sure. Because that's really who it is that you're fighting for, right? That's what this is all about. The executive fight night, right? You're an executive in the company. So, you already shared with us what the project, why it inspired you to be a part of the project. So talk to me right now about a recent milestone that you guys have gone through in the last year and a half almost that you've been doing this
with the company.
Yeah, like something you've kind of overcome.
When we first started, the milestone I thought would be the hardest one to achieve is to have minds actually see the vision of what we're trying to do and actually pledge our assets to us and say, hey, don't mind this area. We're going to, they have 43 101 reports that know exactly how much gold is in the ground. They know where it's at. And that was what I thought would be the hardest thing. And our whole goal was to get 50 billion by the end of last year. And we smashed it, and we could keep going. There's the company's just waiting, right? So that was a big milestone. And I think when they do this whole process, I think they saw an opportunity for the element process, and I really believe that's the next big step here. Gaming and all that stuff is going to be huge for us, but I think the element process of tracking where the gold comes from, because even when you talked about like all this illegal mining that's going on in the world, it's really I mean, it's really bad. I mean, even Joe Rogan did a whole podcast on the cobalt mines with all these batteries, all the elements for the batteries and stuff it's coming from, and they showed like 15,000 people that were mining. They're supposed to be excavators and stuff like that. It was human beings and kids and stuff like that. So I think to stop that part of it and then really recognize, hey, this is like this gold, this ring, this stuff came from an actual mine, just like the Kimberley process. But I think Blood Diamond opened everybody's eyes when that movie came out, right? Yeah. And we're doing the same thing with the elements, right? Like cobalt, gold, silver, whatever it is, because there's just a lot of illegal, like there's a lot of mining out there that's illegal mining, and we're just trying to stop that bad stuff.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you guys for exactly what it is that you're doing. Thank you for sharing that for sure.
You're welcome.
So let's kind of go a little bit into the boxing realm now, okay? Because we're getting close. I mean, we got training started, okay? It did. How's that going?
Oh, it sucked. It sucked from first. I went in to hit the heavy bag, and after about 5 minutes, I couldn't even punch the bag.
So how long ago was it before you had boxed? Like, as I know,
10, 11 years. Yeah.
Really? It's been since 40, XSI?
Yeah, 40. Yeah, XSI. I haven't done anything since. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you maybe had touched around.
I have a heavy bag at home, but I never hardly used it. And I would go hit it for like 5 minutes and be exhausted and be like, stop, and I'd stop. I'm like, no, I suck.
Okay. So now tell me this. This is a question I have I'm curious because you've taken classes from me back in XSI.
That's right.
And now you've come back into Legends 10, 11 years later.
That's right.
What's changed?
Oh, the whole environment. It's just awesome. Like the coaches are good coaches. Because I just watched, like Damian Bressler and Larry is a Goodwin, right?
Larry Goodwin.
Goodwin, yeah. And they were skilled, in footwork and all that stuff. But you guys have done a really good job. You've learned from those guys, and you took that into a whole nother level. But just the environment, and I can see all your coaches, and they're like good, skilled. You can tell they're good skilled. I was telling Tiffany today, I was like, you're skilled. Why don't you box? And I saw her, I was like, you're so skilled. Like your footwork and even your movements and stuff like that. It's just, you look like a real fighter.
And she's got her own story too. And one of these times we might bring Tiffany onto the podcast. But for sure.
All of them are like that. That's what I'm saying. They're all great. Even all the guys of, Kyle and everybody out there, that at Lehigh branch. It's awesome.
So you said the culture, community. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, just all the guys. Obviously, you go in, everybody's super friendly, and I'm there to work, and they're all so friendly and just talkative and stuff like that. Everybody, we're all on the same page. We're all just training. And a lot of those guys are doing it for cardio. Still getting the work in, right? Yeah, they're all doing it for cardio. I'm doing it to actually knock somebody out.
No. Who is it that you're going to be? Who are you fighting?
Andy. I forget his last name.
I think it's Hayford.
Hayford, Andy Hayford.
I think it's Andy.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, wow.
He's not small. You know him. I know you know him and stuff.
Yeah.
He seems like a great guy. We actually met each other at the company when we all met each other like about 3 weeks ago.
The fighter orientation.
Orientation. That's what I meant to say.
How great was that? How organized was that? It was
organized. You guys you guys are really good at what you do. That's why I'm so excited. I even seen some of the shows, how you guys have like boom, whatever.
Oh, it's Vegas production.
It's Vegas, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
Awesome.
I'm walking out to Eye of the Tiger, my favorite song of all time. So, I'm inside. I look back and I was meant to box. I was meant to do that, but I just didn't ever do it. And so now I kind of still, like I said, I have something in my basement. I still want to prove something to myself.
You see why I wanted him to be number one? All of the fighters interviewed number one.
Yeah.
Because this is again, how many times did we try to get you a fight back in the day?
Lots of times.
Could not do it.
Even that one in Vegas that we potentially had a fight. The guy I think saw my size and he kind of was like, dude, he's 240. I'm not fighting. He's 205. He was champion. Like, why would you not fight me? Giant, you know what?
Smart.
Yeah.
This is a big size difference.
I've never fought. Like, you have the belt. Let me go fight you.
Well, but now you have the opportunity.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited.
this is great. I'm excited for you, man. I mean, this is kind of like both of us get this like check off of our bucket list, right? We get the opportunity to get each other a fight, right? So
I'm so
the only disappointment is that I'm not going to be in your corner.
Yeah.
Like I won't be cornering you.
That would have been fun.
But that would be fun. But I'll definitely be there and I'll be sitting ringside to make sure that actually gets taken care of. So talk to me about boxing back in the day. Try to go back in time.
Okay, so
about like why you even just started boxing to begin with.
Okay, so when I was a kid.
Okay.
This is a story that goes all the way back when I was like a 10-year-old kid, right? So my grandma, when I was 8 or 9 years old, she bought me boxing gloves for Christmas. My grandma did. She sent them to me. I was like 2 pairs. She sent it to me. I never really used them. One day you get your friends together, go out in the yard, and we started boxing each other, right? Well, I just remember fighting my one buddy named Chad Ellsworth, he'll watch this. And so I remember just throwing an uppercut, catching him, bad bloody nose. My mom sees it, comes out, this is over, takes my gloves, never gives them to me again. And I'm thinking back, I'll say, Mom, maybe you should have thought this guy has some skills. Get me in the ring. I was in Vegas. Grew up in Vegas, one of the boxing capitals of the world. But no, she didn't. She took my gloves away and never let me fight again. Because I bloodied my buddy. And he never, that was it. But then even since then, I've always had a desire. So it wasn't until I was 38 years old. And I was like, my buddy Kevin, and he was working at Throwdown, right? You remember old Throwdown?
Yeah. I do.
And so Court, you remember Court, right?
Court McGee,
Yeah, Court McGee. Mm-hmm. I was talking to him. He's like, dude, we're sparring tomorrow. Why don't you come in? And I'm like, okay, cool. This is when I was 38 years old, by the way, right? So I bought gloves right there, hand wraps, all that stuff. I don't even think I had a mouth guard, actually. I don't even know if they had their own headgear and stuff like that. And I jumped in and I just started sparring guys. And one dude hit me so hard. He was a big boy. He was like 250 probably. Hit me so hard, bloodied my nose up really bad. But at that moment, I was hooked. When I was living in Vegas at the time. And I was up here seeing my kids. I went back to Vegas and I went and sought out a guy named Cal Gribble, and he knew somebody at the Mayweather gym, and I started training there a little bit. And I'm telling you, this is a true story. So I just told this today. So I went to the Mayweather gym with Cal Gribble, and so Roger Mayweather, who had helped train Floyd Mayweather, was there, and I had Bose Edwards there, Roger Mayweather, and all these guys, and they were trying to train me. So Roger put me through a major workout, right? And I was like 2 or 3 days in, right, of training. And he put me this mad workout, like I'm talking the medicine balls, 75, 150, and we did that several sets. So you can imagine how tired I was, right? Sweating. He's like, and Roger was like, hey, you want to spar? So he put me in with this 138 pound, I think his name was Kyron, right? 138 pounder.
You weren't 138 pounds.
No, it was 240.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He puts me in this kid who's like really, really good, right? And he literally beat the crap out of me. I was a 130 pounder. I was like, you ever see the movies where they go, bzz, bzz, bzz. Yeah. Well, I saw my own spit fly out of my mouth. This is a joke. But by then I already had a mouthpiece, right? But I was just like, bzz, bzz, bzz. And he hit me with an uppercut and I went down and I crawled to my corner.
Wow.
And I had Bose Edwards watching me, Roger Mayweather watching me, and a guy named Daniel Stavern who became future heavyweight champion of the world. All watching me get knocked down. And there's only like 10 people in the gym. And I got knocked down by this guy.
By
138 pounder. You think a guy like that maybe be like, you know what? Maybe boxing isn't my sport and quit. But it just fired me up. So then a few weeks, I was only there for like 2-3 weeks training, right? Then I moved back to Utah, and that's where I found Damian Bressler and met Rob, and that's the story.
And that's when we met.
And we started like, yeah, you're a bigger boy back then.
And there you go, guys.
That's it.
No matter what, legends can provide, no matter how long it takes. 10 plus years later, now he gets his opportunity to get in the ring and fight, guys. So this 7th generation EFN will be our biggest one ever. There's going to be more people than we've ever had filling the stadium and stands. So please make sure you guys get on and get your tickets now, because it will sell out, and it sell out. I think the tables sold out in like a week.
I try to get my buddies to buy tables, and they were already sold out.
Yeah, they're already gone.
I'm on a waiting list for my guys, you know?
Yeah. So
it's like that fast.
They either need to find out how to add more tables, or you start getting on and getting your GA tickets now. So Scott Hillman, everybody, this is going to be really exciting. He is fighting Andy Hayford. We are going to have Andy in studio.
I'm still
we
coming
will
after
have
you.
him.
I love you, but I'm coming after you.
Thank you for being here, guys.